Everybody, it's the Mad Master here. I'm just going to do a quick video about Biden's Secretary of State repeating the warmongering and playing, ostensibly playing the war drums again for war with Iran. And just the fucking blatant hypocrisy of the left with regards to this. Now, I supported what Obama did as far as the Iran nuclear deal to some extent. And, you can break it apart and say it's probably just some imperialist bullshit. It probably was. But compared to how Mike Pompeo in Trump's administration was beating the drums for war with Iran, and rightfully condemned for that. But, by many of these same people, well, what are they going to do now? Are they going to fall in line with Biden's war, Secretary of State? Oh, they're only weeks away from a nuclear bomb. Where have we heard that before for 15, 20 years? They're always weeks away, or 20, more like 30 years if you count the original war with Iraq. We're always hearing that. So, yeah, as I predicted in previous videos, there's going to be hypocrisy and the left, establishment left, falling asleep and, and be like, well, Biden's doing it, so it's not bad. Ugh. Biden's a nicer guy. He smiles more than Trump. So I don't care if he goes and kills a bunch of brown people for oil. That's all I got to say about that. It pisses me off, It pisses me off. So I didn't vote in this last election. Proudly. I am proud of it now that I did not vote. Because just have more shit like this that is fucking just, I shake my head at and just laugh that these people are so fucking clueless. Playing those war drums, playing those war drums for war with Iran. Do I think we'll get in a war with Iran? That's another story altogether. I think it is saber rattling to some extent. I think Tara Warwick actually talked about that a little bit. As Jimmy Dore and Tara Warwick both said, they said it's it happens when it's happened since 1979 that they've been weeks away from, essentially they both said the same kind of thing about this thing being done. I'm willing to bet if I watched Young Turks, they'd probably be like pro war with Iran now. I wouldn't be surprised considering how far they've fallen. But no, it's fucking, it's despicable. But it's just, it's to be expected. For a while, like, I mean, it was kind of an unprecedented amount of time, like a couple of weeks, because I think date is it today, the 3rd? It was he inaugurated on the 20th. I was like, well, it's been a week and we haven't announced some new war yet, or new warmongering kind of thing, or saber rattling or whatever. It's like a record. Well, maybe Biden's a little. Maybe it is a little different since it's been a week. 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in, we're talking about war with Iran. Of course, it's just fucking like clockwork at this point. People wonder why people like Trump got elected. When he was talking about the war in Iraq, he was talking about these neocons and neoliberals. Now he was a hypocrite and totally like not following up on his own thing, but it's not because they're all secret Nazis that voted for Trump or something. It's fucking ridiculous. But yeah, there are going to be apologetics for this. People are going to apologize. Well, Trump. Well, Iran's really a threat now. It wasn't under Trump. Oh, who says when they're a threat? The fucking the defense contractors want to profit. That's they want to profit. They supported this fucking candidate Biden worse than Trump in that way, in that area. My opinion, he probably will be. He probably will put some troops in Syria or Iran. And Trump actually did this like very small troop down surge. He was pulling out some troops from some places like Afghanistan. And he had Tammy Duckworth criticizing him. It's like, I mean, it's just gotten so ridiculous. Essentially, the two parties are the same at this point with regards to foreign policy, and it's sad. They always were to some extent, but now it's pretty clear that dare I say, the populist demagogue like Trump might be less apt to go to war, other than his saber rattling with North Korea on Twitter. But who knows what was happening in the back channels during that time? There's always a public persona and a private persona. Sometimes they're talking to. We might have been talking to North Korea at the time they were doing the stupid Twitter war. I mean, who knows? I'm not saying that that wasn't dangerous. That was probably the peak moment for me. That was the most dangerous part with Trump as far as the period of time was the North Korea thing before the peace stuff happened with them. And people are like, oh, he loves dictators. Well, one man's you know cavorting with dictators is another man's diplomacy. Depends on which you're for Democrat or Republican. If Madeleine Albright clapping at North Korean fucking North Korean dancers is not cavorting with the dictators, I don't know what is. Back in the Clinton days, these people can all get fucked. Anybody that tells me that I'm a lesser person or lesser politically for not voting for Joe Biden now, especially now with this fucking Iran thing, can go fucking hang themselves and get gutted on by a fucking by a rhinoceros. How about that? I hope they get sodomized by a rhinoceros. That's all. Peace out.